Welcome students, this is your instructor Shauni Calhoun. This is a quick tutorial just to show you around our Biology 115 Blackboard page. When you log in to your MSJC and click on your course, on the Biology 115 course, it should begin in this announcements content area. And you always want to scroll down and look at the announcements and check for any new announcements, which generally should be at the top. So we have an announcement I just posted this evening. Make sure you read that if you haven't already. And just scroll down to make sure you didn't miss anything, that you've read all of the announcements. This is the main way that I will communicate with you in this course, is through the announcements area. I will post any changes, any important information, and reminders about due dates and things. To begin, you should definitely explore all areas of the course, which the menu content areas are located over here on the left side. So we'll just make our way down here, clicking on Documents and Info. You want to read all of the information under this area, preferably before the course starts, so you know how this course is going to work, what are the requirements, and so on. So start with the syllabus and other documents. Here you have a welcome letter, which will just outline a little bit of what the course is about, what some of the requirements are. The master calendar is very important. This will have all of the due dates for the course. I recommend printing it out and keeping it by your computer. I have mine printed out and I keep it by my computer so I can remind you when the due dates are and remind myself when they are and make sure I'm keeping up with the grading. Here's the syllabus. This will give you more info on how the course works, the requirements, points, grading, so on. And then the course agreement, it's here in a PDF form, which means you can't change it, you can't write on it. There will be another course agreement in a RTF form under the weekly units, which you will have to download and save to your computer and fill in a bit of information on it and resubmit it back to me. And we'll look at that in just a minute when we get over to the weekly units area. Going back to Documents and Info, you've got information here on field trips. There is one required field trip in this class, so you do have a variety of options of what field trip you want to do, and so you find those field trips and information there. You can always choose your own field trip as well if you don't see a place that you thought would be good as an option, and there I believe I have information there on that as well. If you want to choose your own, you just need to get approval from me. Extra credit is available, and there's information on different forms of extra credit you can do here. Reading assignments, there's 5 reading assignments, and there's info on those here as well as under the weekly units areas. And then you've just got some additional info here, how do online labs work. Well, you do need to purchase the lab kit at the bookstore, but there's some other supplies that you'll need. Some you may have at home already, others you may need to buy at the grocery store. How to use the answer sheets for the labs, how to submit assignments, help with saving files, any computer problems, browser, pop-up blocker issues. There's some info under here on that. And then tips for success. So make sure you read all of that content under Documents and Info. Now let's move on to the discussion board. You will visit the discussion board to do your initial check-in. You must complete this check-in within 2 days of the start of the class, which means by midnight on January 24th. But preferably the sooner you check in, the better. So you can begin checking in as of January 14th. To check in, you follow the instructions here. And so if I wanted to check in, I would click there on initial check-in. I would click on create thread. I would type in here check-in Shauni Calhoun under the subject area, and then here in the box I would do my check-in, introduce myself, write that statement and the other info that was asked of me there, and I would click submit. But I'm going to go back. Oops, back one more. Below the check-in, you have some help forums. So there's a general help and a lab help. If you're having any questions or confusion in general or specifically for labs, this is where you would post that type of stuff. If it is more of a personal natured question, of course you want to email me. But if it's a general question or a question that pertains to labs, those can go there. There's a chat forum here if you want to chat with your classmates. And this is also where you'll find your discussions. They're not available yet. The first one will be available on January 22nd. And then each week after that, your weekly discussions will be there. Weekly units. This is where you will find all of the assignments, exams, etc. that are required. And they're divided week by week for the 8 weeks of the course. Right now, only week 1 is visible to you. Once the class gets underway on January 22nd, more of the weeks will become available. I think all of them you'll be able to see, but not all of the content, not all of the assignments, exams, etc. within those weeks will be available. The content will become available usually 1 week, if not 2 weeks or so, before that assignment, exam, etc. is due. So the content is slowly fed out over the course of 8 weeks, but it gives you enough time to complete it, but doesn't throw everything at you all at once. So you would begin, of course, by going to week 1, and not everything is available under week 1 yet either. Most of it, all of it, will become available on January 22nd. But there is some stuff here already. So you have your little comic learning objectives here, supplementary materials, you've got different practice quizzes and videos and just extra stuff to help you there. Go back. Readings in the textbook, so what chapters you should read to prepare for the exam. Here's the course agreement, the one that you will need to write on, type on, I should say, and resubmit as one of your first assignments in this course. So you would want to download the file, and it depends on your computer. Mine automatically opens it because I've told it to do that. Your computer may ask you if you want to open it or save it. So that just depends on your settings. Once you have the document open, you'll want to read it and follow the instructions here. So you'll retype this statement above into this box here. You'll type your name, the section number, the date. Then you're going to want to save it once you've filled in your information. So go save as under your file area. I like to put it on my desktop and make sure that I named it accordingly. So all files should be named, and you can actually see it here on the course agreement using the student's name, last name, followed by first name, and the name of the assignment. So I would put Calhoun Shauni course agreement there under file name. The formats that I can accept are RTF, which is rich text format. So this is in the perfect format already. That is the most preferred format to submit assignments, but I can also accept .doc or .docx. So once you have named it correctly and you have the right format there, you would do save. And then you can close out that document and come back to the weekly units area under week 1 and now click on the title Submit Course Agreement, and this will bring you to where you actually will submit and turn it in. You do not need to type anything in this submission box. You can if you want, but you don't have to put anything there. All you have to do is attach the file. So you go Browse My Computer, and we go to the desktop where I placed it, and I didn't rename it, so it's there under Course Agreement, and then click Submit, and that will submit the course agreement. I don't know if it'll let me do it. I'll click it. Okay, it did it. So there it is under Attached Files. There's my attachment. And then I would click OK, but I don't want to actually attach it here because I'm not a student. So, but then you would click OK or Submit. It might look slightly different because I'm the instructor and you're the student. Some of our buttons look a little different. Usually once you submit an assignment, before I grade it, if you check in your grades, you should see like a green exclamation point, which would mean that it needs grading, and that's what I see, and then I'll go in and grade it and input the points, or in this case there's no points, so I think once I grade it, it shows up as like a check mark or something in your grade area. So let's go back. But that's how all assignments will be submitted in this class. Like for the labs, for example, you would download the answer sheet, and you would open these files, and then you would fill in your answer sheet as you do your lab, and then when you're ready to turn it in, you would click there, and same thing, you do not need to write anything in this submission box, you just need to attach your file by doing Browse My Computer. Okay, so that will always be the same for the labs and the reading assignments that you submit. The exam is not available yet, so I can't show it to you, but it will show up here. It would say Exam 1, and you click on it, and it will have a little bit of instructions, and then it'll say Begin, and then you click Begin, and then you begin taking the exam. So the exam is taken within Blackboard, and you can read more about it once it becomes available as of January 22nd, and let me know if you have any questions on that. There are some videos here that the IA, the instructional aid, Tessa, created to help you with the labs. And mine are showing up with this QuickTime symbol here. Again, depending on your computer and your settings, it may show up differently. I'm not going to play them. I don't know if they will play on my computer, but they're there, and let us know if you have any trouble with those. Tools, help, those are built-in content areas of Blackboard in general. They're not anything that I change or post to, so those are just automatically there, built in. My grades, that's where you will check your scores, and then contacts is where you can find info on myself and on our IA, Tessa. Okay, well, I'm about out of time in this recording, as I'm only given 15 minutes of free recording, so I'm going to finish up here, but I hope this little tutorial helped you to navigate and kind of figure out how the Blackboard works and how to submit assignments. And let me know if you have any questions. I hope you enjoy the class. Thanks. Bye.